podcast. This is Westchester Talks.
What's up, everybody? Y'all now tuned into Westchester Talks. This is episode 7. I'm your host, PJ. To my right, got my brother Fred with me.
Yes, sir.
To my left, got my brother Lex. And here at Westchester Talks, we talk everything from entertainment, sports, fashion, you name it, we talk about it. First and foremost, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors, The Private Shop, for allowing us to shoot at their space. Of course, as always, if you need anything hype, clothing, sneakers, anything of the sort, y'all know where to tap in at. Matter of fact, let's just get straight into it today, man. I say let's get started, let's get into it. Episode 7, we here. We was talking before the pod about like some high school memories, basketball, stuff like that. And then it hit all of us kind of at the same time. It's like, we podcasters now.
Word.
Like we not even, all of us, we don't even call ourselves hoopers no more. And it's crazy to think that we all hoop for 20 plus years. Yeah. And now we podcasters. So I say, let's talk a little bit about the transition, how we feeling about it, how we feel about being on episode 7, some things we may like, dislike. Let's talk about podcasting.
This is a surreal feeling, man. It's like life comes at you fast. You know, people say that's a cliche type of saying, but it's real. I feel like literally we was waking up trying to grind and be better in basketball. Next thing you know, now we waking up, punching the clock, we working, we got jobs, 9 to 5s. You know, we provided not only for ourselves, but maybe others and things like that. And now, you know, in our spare time that we do have, you know, after a busy schedule, we podcasting and we podding now. So, you know, you the new podcast P, by the way. Facts. You know what I'm saying? But
facts.
It's the main thing for me with the podcasting thing is just, you know, scheduling. You know, like I said before, we have hectic schedules, and then for us to fit this in and really give it our all, you know, it's a tough thing to juggle. Pause. But other than that, I think I like being in this space actually.
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope. I mean, I watch podcasts throughout the whole day. You know, I'm driving. You know, got some time at work. So that's why I wasn't answering the group chat. I was watching podcasts, studying and shit.
Okay.
Yeah. But I enjoy it though, because like I said, it gives us a chance just to voice our opinions of what's going on and how we can help in certain areas. And that's like, it's just dope to see, because a lot of people are receiving good feedback from us. Mm-hmm. You know, they coming up to us, messaging us, DMing us, whatever it is, saying that they tuned in. So it seems like we're doing something right. So sitting as a podcaster or transitioning into a podcaster is dope. It's dope to see.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with both you guys. And same, like I'm a person who's tuned into all the podcasts, like the I Am Athlete. I know not the whole history, but like when they split and then it became the pivot, they whole beef, like Club 520 is another one, Gillian Wallow. It's so many we could name on and on and on. So for us to now be pod, and it's like Fred said, it's surreal, but it's a great feeling too, like he said. And then I think what makes it even better is the team we have, like being dedicated. Like we said, we working 9 to 5. So it's like we all had work today. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for us to have maybe even a hard day at work, working these long hours, and then dedicated enough to come here and shoot, I think that's just a testament to like our character and our commitment to this. And like and to what you said about like the feedback we get from people, it's great feedback. Some of it, some people's telling us other things that might not be the best feedback, but it's still feedback. And, you know, we all the type where we gonna take it with, take it on the run, and then, you know, if it's hating, it's like, you know, we'll, appreciate you. We know it's hating, we gonna keep it pushing. We still gonna show up and we still gonna pod. So yeah, I think it's different.
And also just to add on, like the best part is that it was organic. Like we didn't really start when we wanted to start, right? Individually. Like, you know, we planned, you guys planned, then we all came together. So it was like a 2-year thing in the making, if you really think about it. So now that, you know, we got it rolling, you know, there's so much more we can do. So it's dope.
For sure. And then how do we feel overall? Like we also spoke about like being known as hoopers our whole life. Like even to this day, as I run into some people, like the people now, it's a lot of people like, yo, P, Westchester Talks, but there's still some people that maybe didn't tune in yet, and they'll catch on, but that's still like, yo, P, you still hooping? So it's like to have like that as like me specifically as like my identity is like basketball PJ. Oh, yo, you know PJ from New Road basketball PJ? Like, and I didn't hoop in X amount of years taking it serious. It's like, how do we feel, or more so, I would say for the mental health side of it, how do we feel about that moment where we were like, you know what, basketball's over, I need to move on from my life. Like, was it hard for us? Was it something easy for you guys to where it's just like, all right, I don't hoop no more, it is what it is, I'm gonna move on with life? Or was it something that, you know, we kind of struggled with? Because I know it's something I've struggled with. I want to hear from you guys, and then I'll definitely give my input. But I know a lot of athletes nowadays definitely probably struggle with that, you know, being a great basketball player, don't make it to where they want to, and then it's like, damn, what do I do next? So how did y'all feel at that moment in your life where it's like, all right, basketball is like over, basically?
Damn, I'm about to cry in here.
Right.
Honestly, you know, when I started making that transition after my senior night in college, it was, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know about y'all, I was in a dark place. I was in a dark place solely because when you give your all to something, there's no backup plan. Yeah. You know, there's no real backup plan. You don't, even when I went to college and I was picking my majors and all of that, I was just picking whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever was easy enough for me to get by, whatever was easy enough for me time management wise, where I could still go have fun, play ball, do me, I did that. You know, whatever was convenient at the time. And then when it starts getting close to the end, it's like, damn, all right, what am I about to do? You know, some of my classmates, they're interning at certain places. I'm not, because I'm just thinking like, oh, I'm gonna just do this and I'm gonna do that with basketball. So it put me in a dark place as soon as I came back home from college, and I'm sitting in my room and I'm like, damn, I gotta get a job.
Yeah.
Like, I really gotta work now. So, you know, it put me in a dark space, and I'm just like, yo, what am I gonna do? And I just got led to coaching. You know, coaching was therapeutic for me because I would still be able to be a part of the game, but not be a part of it the way I used to be. Right. So like you said, you know, some people might see you and be like, yo, yeah, that's PJ, New Road basketball, da-da-da. You know, it's like when we was playing ball, people would come up to us and know us for that. Now we're giving them something to know us by in a different light now. You know, so I would like to say, you know, I put the time in to try to rebrand myself alongside my life. And I'm on a good ride right now. I like pause, you know what I'm saying? You know, I like being a potter, I like being a coach, I like everything else. So, you know, I'm out of that dark place. I'm much better now mentally.
And then that's good. When would you say, last part of it, when would you say like that exact, was there like an exact moment where you like, where it like hit you, like, all right, let me get out this dark place? Obviously, sometimes you don't even know you're in a dark place, so maybe not necessarily let me get out this dark place, but where was it a specific something that happened where it's like, all right, basketball's over, but I'm good though, I'm gonna be good?
It was, I for about 2 years after college, I was just flowing, but then when COVID hit, and I was still an essential worker, I'm working at the group homes and all of that, and I still had to go to work while people was getting, you know, checks and all of that, and I'm still, I was heated.
What?
So I'm going through all of that, and then I'm like, damn, yo, what am I doing when this is all over? Because in my head, I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be over at some point. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what am I going to do? But COVID is when I really sat and I started to brainstorm on all these ideas that I got going on now.
Fire. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, with me, like, if you ask me in middle school, elementary school, middle school, I'm going to the league. Like, you know, that's like every kid's dream. But once I got into high school, and I kind of made the conscious decision of like, when I pick my college, I'm gonna go to kind of do it my own way. Like, obviously I had schools like JUCO schools that were interested, but my grades were fine. I didn't have to go, like, back then, you wasn't really going JUCO unless you had bad grades or something like that. So I didn't really think about like JUCO, right? And then I had Division IIs interested, but again, I knew, I don't know, just consciously, I'm like, I'm not chasing to like say that I went Division I or Division II. The only thing I was chasing was whatever college I pick, I'm gonna do it my own way. I'm gonna go and have fun. Cause I knew like NBA ain't, you know, it's a far fetch. Like, I ain't going to the league. So I just gotta go and enjoy my time playing basketball. Like, go to college, play basketball, get a degree. I already knew, that was the case for me. So that's what I kind of strive for. And then when I was in college, I would say probably like my senior year, I knew that after I'm done hooping, I was gonna get into coaching. Don't know when it was gonna happen, but I knew. So I always kind of planned ahead. So I really never had that moment like, damn, basketball is over for me. Cause I always knew like I enjoy basketball. Like basketball is something I passionately enjoy because obviously we probably all use basketball for a way to escape some reality or just to have fun with your friends. Like that's really what it was. So I always used that for that. That was the main goal for basketball. Like enjoy the shit, go to college, get a degree, and use basketball, right, to do all those things. So like I said, my senior year, I already knew I was gonna get into coaching some way, somehow. So it just happened to fall that as soon as I graduated, I got a coaching job in college. And then when I started coaching in college, my first year or so, I knew I wanted to go back to school to get a master's degree. So I always was thinking ahead, to now, become an athletic director and be around sports. And like you said, provide opportunities for kids. So I always knew I wanted to use, basketball, sports, but mainly, basketball is what got me in the door to kind of like provide opportunities for the next generation. So I never had that moment where I'm like, damn, I'm stuck. Like I have those moments like, damn, I might be stuck in this career right now. And I want to, do so much more, like start the podcast when we first brought it up. Because like I brought that up because I felt like I was stuck in my career, like, stuck in, athletic directing, right? Even though it's like a great career to have, but it's like, I always want to do more. So I don't know, basketball is, like I said, is a passion. So I never let basketball bring me into certain places that I shouldn't be in. Like I'm using it for the right reason. I always knew I was using basketball for the right reason.
So it's safe to say like you kind of planned and realized early on, like you said, high school kind of sort of when you realize like, all right, I'm gonna just use basketball as a vessel to make sure I'm good in life, kind of
Facts.
thing.
Like that. That's all.
Not
it was.
really going
like,
pro. Just make sure life. I could pay my bills. I could be
exactly. Like I knew I wanted to have a career in athletics, whether it was being an agent. That was something that I was kind of jumping around to when I was in grad school. Like, yo, I'm gonna become an agent. Or I'm gonna get into like when COVID hit. So, everything closed down. I got into back into coaching. But it was like once I was in grad school, I was thinking about going the agency route. And like I said, it's still opportunity now and a possibility now, to get into being an agent or, working with a sports marketing program, stuff like that. But it just, like I use basketball. They say use basketball, don't let basketball use you. And that was really like something that I was kind of taught, right? And and then obviously I had like something that wasn't far-fetched with my brother coaching and getting to where he got. So I know what basketball can do for you. Like I know what it can do for you if you kind of just let it, put your all into it and let it do what it does.
And I think really, because Fred, you got an older brother? No.
Yeah, I got two older brothers. Okay. But as far as what I do, we all different. So,
right. So I think, and then I'm gonna definitely give my spiel too, but I think really mainly, cause my story's similar to Fred's, but I feel like mine took a little longer. Like how you said like after college, you was in the dark space, like mine took like a few years outside of college to really like realize what's going on, honestly. But I think the main thing in it all is like having that big brother that kind of took the route and you kind of see like, okay, you could still be successful in basketball without going pro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So for me, similar. So you asked me in middle school, elementary, really probably since fourth grade, you asked me in fourth grade, oh, nah, I'm going to the league. Yeah. And you ask people in the city, oh, nah, P's going to the league since fourth grade. So it was kind of instilled in my head, like, I'm going to the league. I don't need to work on nothing else. I don't even need to think about nothing else. Basketball is my life. So fast forward to college, I go to Duquesne. Being the man in high school, the years I was there, then going to Duquesne, not playing too much, but then still realizing like my coach was kind of, didn't have it all upstairs, I would say, but great guy. But then having the assistant still telling me like, nah, you the one, like, you know what I'm saying? The only reason you're not playing is because X, Y, and Z. Never telling me like it's about talent, like letting me know like the talent is there. Like you got the talent, just got to fix your work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Got to fix your attitude. So then I start working on those things, whatever the case may be. Fast forward, I transfer. I'm back at LIU Post. Now I'm at LIU Post. I'm back to being a man again. You know what I'm saying? Averaging 16 and like 9 and 5, whatever the numbers were. So now I'm back in that place of like, all right, I'm going pro. Like, you know what I'm saying? At Duquesne, it's kind of like, damn, like, am I going pro? Like, is this for me kind of thing? Dark space, just because really I'm not playing. Like, and then it's different then than it is now. Like back then, you couldn't just transfer schools like that and just play right away. It's like for me, being at a D1, if I went to another D1, I would have had to sit a year. I was thirsty. Like, I'm like, yo, I need a hoop. I'm trying to hoop. I'm trying to get on the court. So I ended up going D2 just to play right away. Like I said, numbers was there. Everything was good. Fast forward, I finished at LIU. I'm still like, yo, I still got a chance to go pro. Like, yeah, I didn't get too many looks coming out of LIU. I ended up going to Puerto Rico for a junior national team, like tryout. A few guys was there from like the city and stuff like that I was familiar with. So I was out there for like 2 weeks. They paid us while we was out there, gave us money for the 2 weeks, gave us cars while we was out there. So now it's like, again, I'm still thinking like, shoot, I'm basic, in my head at that, I'm like, I'm a pro out in Puerto Rico. Like I'm getting paid to hoop, like they giving us housings taken care of, etc. But then I come home and it's like, it's just real quiet. Like I said, no offers is coming, no real, I don't really have connections with like people that got basketball connections, stuff like that. So now I'm starting to get in that dark space. Like now I'm starting to like, damn, like what's going on? So now it's like, I'm just playing in summer leagues. I'm playing in the Dykemans, I'm playing in your Ferrises, stuff like that. I ended up moving to Virginia to play semi-pro because I, got sold the story like, yo, come down here, play. We got these connects overseas. You could come down here, hoop. We'll get you overseas at least so you could. Cool, I moved to Virginia. The dude who started that team, long story short, was scamming. So that ended up being a whole messed up situation. I come back to New York and now I'm really in that dark space of like, damn, what I'm gonna do. Right. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I still got people coming up to me, yo, PJ, you hooping? Yo, PJ, you hooping? And people not even really understanding what's that, and I'm not even understanding what that's doing to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was probably like, just so I'm not too long, I'm 31 now. I'll be 32 this year. I think probably 28, bro. Probably like 2-3 years ago. And it's a long time, but probably 2-3 years ago, I really had that moment where it's like, yo, like it's over. Like the hoop dream chasing is over. Like you could still have fun with it, which is why I appreciate Fred so much. And he probably don't even know, like bringing me back out to playing Ferris and winning that chip, like, that was a moment for me because it was just like, yo, you could play this game and still be around this game, not really necessarily be the man, because honestly speaking, Meech was the man of that team, but I still had fun. That's probably the most fun I had playing the game, you feel me? So it was like, for me, it was like, damn, it was a moment where it's like, yo, you can still have fun with this shit without taking this shit too serious. Like, understand, like, just what else is going on in life. Like, it's not all about basketball. Yeah, you didn't make it, but it's not over. You know what I'm saying?
And like I said, it's a universal story because you hear about, NBA players when they finish, and this is NBA players.
Fact.
So this is after they made millions of dollars already and they stop playing and then they get into a dark space because they're not hooping no more. Right. But even with millions of dollars in their bank account, so you think about like kids that have $0 in their pocket, right? Coming 21, 22, 23 years old, stopping, don't hoop no more. What's the next move?
Like, your whole life changes.
Exactly. So that's why you have to like plan ahead. For sure. And that's why I felt like I didn't hit a dark spot. One, because I always enjoyed just playing basketball. Right. Like always enjoyed it, right? I didn't have no pressures of like, I gotta go to the league, I gotta do this and that. Like I just enjoyed it. That's why we played on 10,000 AAU teams because we just wanted to play basketball. Right? That's why I enjoyed going outside with my friends and just hooping every single day. We'd be in the park 24/7 because I just enjoyed what the game brought to me. So I know, when that time would come as an adult, I'll be okay with it. Like I'm fine, with how my basketball career turned around. I went to college. I did it my own way. I was successful there. I could go back to my college. I still got, posters and shit of me in my school. Like, I'm fine with that. No matter the level it was, I'm fine with that. And that's like something I could rest on. Like, I did what I did. Now, when I go play in men's leagues or wherever I want to hoop open, I'm fine. I can play with anybody. It don't even matter who's on the court because I'm secured in myself and secured in decisions I made about hooping. But like, I would say like with you was in a different stance because you were like publicized as like a person that had potential to go pro, you know, win Division I, stuff like that. So that's like times 10. Like I wouldn't know how I would feel if I was like a Division I player. Once you go Division I, no matter what, you have a chance.
Yeah, you within striking distance.
You might be far fetched. You know, you might go to fucking FDU, right? Because it's a small school.
Duquesne, yeah.
But you know, FDU's even smaller. You might go FDU, right? But you still have a chance, right? You can have the size. You can be 6'9", and you know,
you can make the NCAA tournament.
And have a crazy run,
you know
right? Like Meach did, right? Imagine Meach was 6'5" with that NCAA run, right? You don't know what chances he would have had going into the league. So that, you know, when the higher the level is you're playing at, the more pressures you have. And it might just be pressure you putting on yourself. Because you do want to, you know, make money playing the game. Everybody wants to make money playing the game of basketball. But like I said, it just goes to show, like, that's why, you know, a podcast is a good thing. You know, coaching is a good thing. Things that help us transition, because we don't have nobody in our family that could just give us a job and be like, hey, this could be your next, you know, career. I mean, unless I want to own, you know, deli stores and shit, then my pops would be happy as shit. I want to own a deli. But he won't even want me to do that. But I'm saying, like, if it was to that case, it's like, okay, now you can do that. But
I think that's the main thing was like the pressure. I think that's what it was for me. Like you said, pressure I'm putting on myself, but then it's like also just like the people around.
You don't want to seem like a failure.
Right.
For real, and that's really what it is. It's like a lot of people don't want to seem like a failure.
Facts.
Don't want to seem like, oh, he was that, but look at him now. Like,
and
see,
nobody want to seem like that.
But to kind of piggyback off that, which was going to be my next question is, you asked, you know, when was that day when I said, or we said, you know what, I got to get out this dark space. Do y'all remember the day or the time when you actually did retire? Like when that was, when you said, all right, I'm hanging up my kicks. On a serious level. Like, see, to play street ball and all of that is one thing, but like on a serious level, when did you really, because mine, for instance, it was senior night, I hugged my moms, and you know, we talked about my moms plenty of times on this podcast. So, you know, she was the person I was more fearful of telling, like, I don't want to do this no more. So when I hugged her on senior night, I held her tight for a little extra second. She's like kind of looking at me like, damn, you hugging me for a long time. And I whispered to her and I said, I'm done. And the way like her and my family kind of looked at me like in shock, like, damn, because I'm the youngest, so this is it. You know, so my mom going to her kids' games and stuff like that kind of, and that all of that is over, it kind of threw her off a little bit. So like, do y'all remember y'all time? When y'all said no, it's over?
Me specifically, I would say mine was probably, like I said, probably 28, when it was just like, it was when I don't remember specifically who it was. I'm bad with like memories and names and shit, but I do remember that moment. I think somebody asked me like, yo, P, you not hooping no more? And I'm like, yeah, I got a few offers overseas. And I went home and I'm like, I'm lying to niggas. Like, I know I don't got no offers overseas. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, so when I got to the crib, it's just like, I'm looking myself in the mirror like, damn, like, what you lying for? Like, it's all right. Like, you know, if you're not hooping no more, you're not hooping no more. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, playing street ball and all that's one thing. But then when I finally realized, I think that day when I lied to somebody and told them I had offers overseas and I got to the crib, I felt crazy.
Because you're lying to people, but you're ultimately lying to yourself.
Right. You feel me? So it's like, so that for me, I don't remember specific dates, but I just know it was around like 27, 28 when I was like, yo, you know what? This like trying to chase the hoop dream, trying to get paid off being a professional basketball player for me is like, it's over. And I think I might have cried and all that, but it was just like, you know what? It's all right. Like, and then it helped having people like, and it hurt during that time, because then I'm seeing the Barries, I'm seeing the Kevin Punters, I'm seeing these people still that I was going at it with wars with, they still to this day playing professional. So for me, it was like, it was hard, but then it made it easier when I got people like Lex, people like you, people like Christian, that's like still in this space of basketball. And then, you know, shout out to YB working with like a Chris Brickley, somebody that went D1 and stuff and then became who he is training, you know what I'm saying? That's why I always hit you like, yo, whenever we start training stuff back up, hit me like, you know what I'm saying? Cause it made me realize like, okay, you don't have to go pro to still have an impact or be around basketball, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there's so much things that you can do outside of hooping.
Sure.
Like I never had a moment where I'm like, I'm retired.
Right.
Like I already knew like, I think I went to like 3 vacations and one summer I ain't touched basketball. I'm like, yeah, like probably put like 15 pounds of vacation weight. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. But I never had a moment where like I'm done hooping. I think I'm gonna play basketball until I can't play no more. Like whether it's open gym, whether it's playing 2 games on Ferris or summer, whether it's playing in a men's league down, you know, wherever. Like I'm always gonna play just to play because I love the game of basketball. But like once I got into like the space of coaching and being around and training and also starting stuff with me and my brother starting stuff up, like I knew there's so much stuff outside of just hooping.
For sure.
Whether it could be anything that brings you just as much joy because you're around it. Yeah. Around it 24/7, and it's like you're still playing, but you're not playing. Right. Like when I'm coaching, I feel like I'm just as involved as I'm hooping. Like I feel like going out there taking a charge one time because nobody take charge.
Yeah, I ain't doing all that.
Yeah, definitely do. Yeah,
but it's like that's how I feel.
Same intensity, same like you still.
Because you tap into how you played and how you were coached and like you know playing White Plains. You got if you want to step in and take a charge, you're on the bench. So you still got the mindset of like, yo, this is what brings me joy, right? And it's tough. Like I said, it's definitely that's the hardest decision to make to say, yo, I'm not playing basketball. No like that shit. That's why LeBron's playing until he's 50. Yeah, it's tough. Because when it comes to him saying like, I'm done, it's like you lose your identity. It's like who you now? You're like a brown shirt in 2K. Like you go. Bro, it's like you go back to the bottom.
Back to 67 overall.
To try to figure it out.
You got to start a new life.
And being that we, you know, touch base on that and we talking about like you coaching and we talking about these kids nowadays with some, because a lot of people's going to deal with it. And there's some people that's going to deal with it that don't even know they're going to deal with it. Having the same mentality me and you had, like, oh no, I'm going to the league. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Like, you bugging. Like, you know what I'm saying? When they not understanding, like, it's a small percentage of people, bro, that go. You know what I'm saying? And it takes, you could be dumb nice and still not go because it still takes maybe politics or maybe it just takes a little luck or you might just, you know, so with some advice we could give and to some of the youth, you know what I'm saying? And I think part of it maybe is planning, you know what I'm saying? But what's some advice we could give to like the youth and maybe even some people our age who still probably dealing with those demons, you know what I'm saying? Of like still trying to hoop and still not really admitting to they self and lying to people like, I got overseas contracts like I was and I got this agent, he gonna put me on, he just told me I gotta do X, Y, and Z. Like what's some advice or some gems you could give to them or we could give to them to, you know,
I would say,
let them know it'll be all right. Like,
make sure, number one, that you're doing it for you. You know, make sure you're not doing it for other people. When you get caught up in, I'm doing it for my family, I'm doing it for my homies on the block, I'm doing it for my friends, you start to think about those same people when you feel like you letting them down. And that's when you dig yourself in a deeper hole. I think that's number one for me. Also, like you said, be honest with yourself. When you decide, if you're a high school kid and you deciding whether or not, you know, what school you want to go to for college and things like that, be reasonable. You know, make a decision that you know is going to be a reasonable decision, and you know, don't try to reach too far. You know, for things that's out of reach, that's not within your reach. You know, I'll say things like that, but mostly do it for you, so that at the end of the day, you can say you did it your way.
Facts.
Yeah, and advice I'll give is, if you're a younger person, go all out. Don't worry about what's going to happen in the future. Like, I know I said I planned, but I planned when it got to, like, time to make that decision. Like, time to step in. I graduated. Time to really start planning ahead. But when you young, you got to go all out. If you're a hooper, if you want to play basketball at a high level, you got to put the work in. Because you said, like you said, it's a small percentage to get paid. Not even to go to the NBA. A small percentage to get paid playing basketball.
To go to college.
Right? Exactly. So it's like you can't think that it's just gonna happen out of nowhere, right? And that's where I think where people get confused or people mess up because they think, right? And PJ can even attest to this, right? They think because they got the talent that it just happens. Mm-hmm. But you need to have the talent and you need to put the work in consistently, not 5 times, 3 times out the week. You really gotta put in. So I think when you be realistic with yourself, like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do, you go all in. But at the same time, like you said, now when it's time to make a decision, you gotta be realistic with yourself and you gotta make decisions for yourself. But yeah, and the biggest thing I think is surround yourself with good people. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't surround yourself with good people, they'll have you thinking that you're letting them down. Right. Yeah. They have you thinking that you're not who you are because you don't do what you do.
Yeah, you're not putting on for the hood. You're not things like that.
And I just want to give a quick shout out to my man Steve, right? Because when we were transitioning, right, from college to go into coaching to whatever, it gave him a new, fresher breath of air because it's like now we get to do stuff with him within this coaching stuff. Because when we was in college, he was putting us on. Mm-hmm. Like he was making phone calls. He was taking us physically to go introduce ourselves to college coaches. Mm-hmm. Like on some he coaches when my brother coached at Iona Prep, or even my brother coached freshman at White Plains High School, a freshman team. Mm-hmm. Right? He was taking my brother and I physically nah, you scared to go introduce yourself? Go introduce yourself. Right. So we'll go, right, and go to these college coaches. We'll see him at House of Sports or somewhere. He'll be like, nah, tell him your name, tell him what you do, whatever. And so that started early when we was, 18, 19, 21, 22, whatever it is. So that made it even easier for us to be like, all right, now I'm confident enough to this is what I do. This opens this door. Yeah. And then that's what it is. So surround yourself with like-minded people, people that got your best interest, no matter what you do. Because if you think, they like you, and that's one thing. If they're around you right now because you hot in basketball, 95% of the time, they're not going to be around you when you're not hot. They're not going to be supporting you. They're not going to be checking on you. They're not going to be, hey, yo, where P at? Where Fred at? If you're not that anymore.
No. Oh, and the one last thing I want to expound on that is
my fault for going long, but this is a good topic.
It's real.
This is the Westchester Talks wellness check right now.
Yeah, this is real.
Also to my youngins out there who are also caught up, whether you're a young lady and you're caught up in the boys, or the boys are caught up in the girls, things like that. A lot of those things changes too. Some of your friends that are next to you and some of, your older peers and things like that may look at you differently. That changes too. Mm-hmm. When your identity changes and shifts or maybe quote unquote lost, a lot of people don't look at you the same. Some people look at Bruce Wayne as Bruce Wayne, but if they found out he was Batman, it's a different glow. Yeah. It's a different feel when you Bruce Wayne and when you Batman. Mm-hmm. So, it's all different. So, also be confident within yourself no matter what you're doing in life.
That's one of the main things. And just to kind of cap it off, my advice would be, honestly, because it's something which made me get in that dark space, I would say even if your life is hooping, even if you're in high school hooping, middle school hooping, try to dab into other things. Because that's why I was in the dark space too, because I didn't know what I liked. Yeah. I never tried nothing else. I never thought about doing nothing else. So it's like, even if you hooping for real, and that's what you think your life is going to be, maybe look into coaching that while you hooping. Yep. Like maybe look into podcasting, maybe look into videography, maybe look into fashion. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Maybe just look into other things just in case that basketball thing don't work out, you still got a love or a passion or at least a curiosity for something else. Like I didn't even know what I was curious to learn about. You know what I'm saying? And then once we start doing this pod, I'm like, oh, I like potting. You know what I'm saying? I would have never known if we never started it.
But it's normal though. And I wanted people to know that that's normal.
Facts.
Bro. And it's like the shit that we go through, right? Because like I said, I ain't have it all figured out. Like when I was after college from 21 to 26, 27, I was broke as a joke, right? And we all go through that. Like everyone goes through that in their 20s. Like they're figuring it out. They starting to get curious of what they want to do in life, what they want to be a part of. right? When you get to your 29s and your 30s and stuff, you start to figure it gets a lot easier. So, like, for us here, sitting here, and for the people watching and stuff, it's like, shit is normal. So you're not the only person going through it. You would not be the last person going through it, right? And it probably gets worse before it gets better, depending on what your age is. But just keep pushing forward, and like I said, surround yourself with good people. You know, have confidence in yourself, and don't be afraid. That's what it is. Don't be afraid to like
fail.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to fail or try.
Like,
yeah, and I think that's the main thing. Like Fred said, I think that's one of the key things is like doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what I struggled with. Is I was doing it for everybody else. Like, of course, like you said, you want to do it, get paid, get all these accolades, do what you gotta do. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking about mama love. I'm thinking about my sisters. I'm thinking about my brother. I'm thinking about the homies. I'm thinking about Westchester. Like,
you think about the love you get,
right?
Because, like I said, you were celebrated, like,
right, for sure.
Not just like as a just playing back. You were celebrated growing up. Like, I was with you for a long period of time in high school when you're like the biggest name around. So it's like you get celebrated, just you as an example, but it's like people get celebrated when they're that. Like, you know, like just kind of not repeat ourselves, but it's like you get celebrated so much that you start to forget that you're just PJ, right? You're just Fred, and this shit going in, and the celebrations might stop.
And you looking around like, damn, where the applause at?
For real, because you're not doing what they're celebrating for.
But I'll say this though. To each his own. These kids have a lot of incentive ahead of them nowadays.
That's a fact.
And this is where we could kind of segue into, you know, another subject. This NIL money, you know, money make the world go round. And these kids have a lot of incentive where they can at least look like, oh, okay, you ain't got to applaud for me. The hood don't got to love me. The NIL money gonna love me. I'm good.
Facts.
So, you know, when we think about that, you know, now we got to go into, you know, we spoke about NIL and things like that on other episodes, but now, you know, they just came to, you know, an agreement, you know, a settlement where the colleges could pay the players directly.
Yeah.
Facts.
You know, and that's different because, you know, I've known a couple of players that had NIL deals, and you know, there's a lot of different loopholes and different ways on and how they get the money and things like that. Now the schools are just like,
it ain't even no loopholes
but
no more.
I don't want people to get confused. NIL isn't for everyone.
Oh, nah, for sure.
Like, you gotta, like, it's an incentive. You gotta earn that.
Nah, facts.
Like, some people, obviously, if you're attached to the right agent or the right person, they could finagle. Like, all right, we're gonna give Fred $80,000, right? Fred numbers might be 2 points a game, 1 rebound, and you be like, how the hell is? But because you around, but it's not for everyone. So people think that just because NIL is what it is, everyone's not getting 100,000. Everyone's not getting $1 million, right? But something is better than nothing because people went to school for
sure.
People make colleges millions of dollars and make $0.
Yeah, and sidebar too, I seen they said, what's it? Reparations.
Yeah,
I gotta see what you gotta do to sign up. What's the how
2016.
far back? Damn, I missed it by a year. That shit crazy.
I would have got about $3.50.
I would have got
Hold on, wait. You. What's the 2016 rule?
2016.
I graduated 2017.
Oh, so you got 2 years in.
They might give you a little chicken. You might.
Queens College, holla at me now, please. I need it.
We got about chopped cheese for you.
Yo, I need that. You don't take Kennedy's at all. I need it.
We got to look into that for sure. Nah, but definitely.
I don't know I don't know if it's every like athlete or if
we got
it's like
look into the
because
logistics.
it's like every athlete kind of receives like $120K, but I think that's for like high major schools that made millions of dollars. So I think it's probably for like. I don't know the breakdown of it,
me either.
But I know it said like high major players
just
get 120 every year for like I think for like 5 years.
Yeah, that's super tough.
They got like a $20 billion loss. It's like a $20 billion loss.
Yo, listen, I just need 2,500. I'm straight.
Straight.
I'm back. 2,500.
And it's to Lex's point. It's like
give me a stimulus package.
No, it's a fact.
It's like to Lex's point. It's like the money's there, but you still got to work to get there. Like you still got to work to get there. You still got to do these things. And to piggyback on what we was talking about last episode about 914 kids, because that's, you know, one of our main focus, not only focus, but our main focus is like seeing these 914 kids do all these things we speaking of, like working hard, going to these colleges, getting some of this money. What do we think we could get? What advice could we give them? I mean, we gave them some advice, of course, like working hard and stuff like that. But the kids that maybe actually have the chance and maybe got offers and things like that, what's some advice maybe we could give them of like maybe making sure they take advantage of this, making sure they being smart, making sure they not getting this 120 and blowing it, and then now they eating all this food, they gaining weight, they not even really who they losing their skills because they not working out as much because they got the money now. Like maybe what's some advice we could give some of these 914 kids, especially being out of Westchester. You know, these city kids got a bigger light, they got a bigger stage, but these Westchester kids, it's like, it's already hard. Yeah. So it's like, what's some advice maybe we could give them on like making it out, pushing to that next level?
I think one is like, call a spade a spade. There's a lot of people out here that are pretending to be something they're not, right? And I don't get into politics, like and I'm not talking about government politics. I'm talking about like just talking about other people's situation, because it's like you got to do what you got to do. But for the 914 athletes, you got to surround yourself with people that actually are, you know, educated on what's going on, not people that are just there because they'll go and pick you up whenever you want. You know, they'll, you know, buy you lunch whenever you want. Because they, just like how you see that there's NIL, these adults see that as NIL.
They see it too.
For real. Like, so they see it, so they know like what it is. So I think the biggest thing is that we, as the community of Westchester, we got to make sure we take care and not try to like
take advantage.
Yeah, take advantage of the opportunity. Like, nah, we see a kid that's there, you know, make the phone call or, you know, connect them with somebody, right? Just so they can, you know, prosper. Because it's going to come back in a tenfold. Like,
for sure.
Not even to like toot my own horn or like say anything. It's like I made so many phone calls for kids to go to college without receiving a dime or without receiving a t-shirt from the school that they go to.
Genuine.
And I never like press for it. I never put it on social media. I don't call people to be like, yo, I did this, I did that. Like, this is a handful of kids that I did it for. You have called me before, yo, can we help get this kid in school? And first thing I do, yo, what level you think he is? All right, let me see if I got a number or whatever. And I make the connection, because that's what it's for. Like, that's what we need. Yeah, because like you said, we didn't have it like that, right? Like, for a player like PJ to go through what he went through and nobody to guide him and say, nah, bro, you're not going to LIU Post. Not saying it's a bad school, but it's like, nah, bro, sit this one out and you're going to go somewhere else. Or, nah, you ain't going to do Cambridge, we're going to go prep school. Let's get another year in, get your shit right. And, you know, could have went to Baylor when they started calling for interest. Like, that's what we needed at that time. Because, to be honest, the only school that had that like that was like Mount Vernon. And they probably got, you know, turmoil or whatever that we don't know. But from the outside looking in, we saw that they had that, right? We saw that they had
like a structure.
Yeah, like a structure, or people that done it before that can make the phone call.
The example.
That's there out in the streets that can make the phone call. And that's what, you know, we all, you know, how we can support 914 now is like, yo, make that phone call. Make sure that kid's straight. Make sure that kid, you know, has the same opportunities that all the other kids have, man. That's how we can support, you know, start supporting one another.
Well, that 914 unity is going to happen when especially these kids acknowledge the fact that they're actually from the 914. Right? This is a sidebar. This is literally, you know, not tucking where you're from. Because, and I fell victim to it too. Once I got to college, I was from the Bronx. I was from Thor's Neck Projects. It wasn't because I didn't feel like having to tell people from DC, Baltimore, and all of that, Detroit and all that, what Greenburgh was, you know, at that point. As opposed to if I would have went in on someone, I'm from Greenburgh, and I could have been big Greenburgh then and try to, a lot of kids don't want to do that. So you get kids that's from the 914, they go to college, they from the Bronx now. You know, they from Highbridge, they from all different types of places now. You know, that's number one, acknowledging, as far as acknowledging who you are as an individual, you got to acknowledge where you're from as well. So then that's when, as a kid, a college kid or high school kid, we start to reach out from other guys from Westchester to kind of help us out, because once we acknowledge who we are, then we can't go to that next step of reaching back to somebody to help you. Okay. So, it's that first thing. And then it's also just like we've been talking about, keeping a tight circle around you, good people around you. Mm-hmm. And I'm big on having positive role models. Yeah. Because you can call somebody big bro just because they're older than you. Mm-hmm. Facts. There's a lot of OGs that's really mentally YNs and they crash outs. Yeah. And they're not teaching you nothing. So, that's another thing as well. You know what I'm saying? Just don't tuck where you from. Have good people around you and positive role models.
Yeah. And
man, you was doing that in college, bro? Now
I was in. Yo,
dog's neck. Now you big dog's neck. Yeah.
Yo, shout out
you both big dudes.
Shout out my man. Hold on. Shout out my man's Paris Purcell. Yo, we was in West Virginia together at school, and all the females was asking where I was from, and I'm like, I'm from the Bronx. And, they quick to acknowledge the Bronx. Yeah. My man's people over to the side and was like, yo, stop acting like that, bro. You from Greenberg, da-da-da. I started telling people you from Greenberg. So that was my first reality check with that.
That's true. Yeah, and I agree with all those
Ferris
things.
Everywhere. College roommates, upstate. Yeah. Anytime they ask, I ain't even say White Plains. They used to make fun of me, like, the guy from Ferris. It's not a city not named Ferris. I'm like, man, Ferris.
I was saying I'm big New Rochelle. That's all that. I was really saying Westchester though. I was so I got 914 tatted on me. Yeah. Like when I was at Duquesne in Pittsburgh, I got this tat. Like I was heavy just Westchester. Yo, we from Westchester. Like you know what I'm saying. So I always been repping it.
I ain't even say Westchester because Westchester they're gonna start thinking you got all this type of money.
Oh no, so they knew I was. They knew I was pop. Nah, they knew I was pop. I was kind of when I was saying Westchester. You know what I'm saying? I'm up today. Fuck college today, right now. I'm crying. Real rap. So it's like So it's like this big Westchester. So it's like I think I agree with all those things, and I think the main thing is out of everything we saying is like the genuineness of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like not. And I think that's what we all have is like you guys are not coaching these kids like, oh yeah, he gonna get to the league, he gonna make sure I'm good, he gonna bring me with him. It's like, nah, you making these calls and then not even thinking nothing after. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Obviously you maybe following up, checking in, yo, everything went good, you at the school? All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Your job is done kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? You're not wanting nothing in return, you're not expecting nothing in return. I think that's the greatest thing about it is you guys do the stuff y'all do. And that's what's kind of inspiring me and motivating me to get into coaching because I see how you could help without, like I said, going pro. You could still help these kids and doing it with a heart and doing it with no intentions and no expectations at all. So still on the 914 topic, I think, we had somebody tell us, yo, y'all intros, y'all always talk about, y'all talking sports, fashion, entertainment, music. Y'all ain't never talking about entertainment. Fashion, music, so
we got some.
Let's talk about some music. So let's talk about some music. Let's start let's talk about Westchester music. You know what I'm saying? Because I know we all know artists. Mm-hmm. We all watch probably some of these artists for the same times we was chasing hoop dreams. We probably know some of these artists that was chasing music dreams and still to this day maybe chasing music dreams. So let's talk about. First and foremost, let's talk about some of our favorites or just some people we know.
I'm gonna start with this because y'all more in tune with the music scene. I'm still bumping Back to Ferris by KCFG.
Shout out to KC.
But on a serious note, I think one of the most talented people in Westchester is Just Quinn, LaQuinn. Q. I think he's really talented. I think he, you never know what's people going like. Not saying he's going through something, but you never know what people are going through where they don't kind of take it serious or do take it serious or dibble and dabble, drop here and there. But we talking talent-wise, he's super talented. So that's one definitely want to big up before y'all get into your spiel because I'm not really tapped in to the music like that.
Sure. Nah, LaQuinn's definitely a good one though. Like even me when I stopped hooping and I kind of came home and I jumped into like the kind of music scene and like the video side of it and like being in studio session. I had a whole label I was running and stuff like that with a whole group, a whole team and everything. LaQuinn was definitely one that I would see and hear. So that's definitely a good one for sure.
I would say Yaya from Yonkers.
Yeah.
Yaya has always been tough. Someone that's tough to me, and I'm really appreciating how. You know what the funny thing is about her? She has a group of just women who help manage her and things of that nature. I always thought that was dope. Once I saw the concept that Jalen Hurts uses and stuff like that, I always thought that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Because women just have a different feel and touch.
They get the job done.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah. So, I think that's dope on Yaya and her team's behalf.
Shout out to YB, she get the job done.
That's a whole fact.
Gotcha.
Also, and then now I gotta go to, I gotta go to my hood. I gotta go to Greenburgh. BTB is my favorite rapper from Greenburgh. That's my favorite white boy right there. I love him to death. 21 Grams is also tough from Greenburgh as well. And on my side of things, that's pretty much it. But also I just want to say there's a lot of artists like Lex said. Some people might quote unquote fall off, right? And I know the music business and all of that, it can be discouraging because once you putting out all this music, all these videos, dishing out all this money,
all that bread,
and you see no real return that you like as an artist, you start to fall back. You start picking up extra shifts a little bit more now. You know what I'm saying? You start playing the block a little bit more now. You start doing certain things. But I just want to say 914 artists, just don't get discouraged. Don't crash and burn. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep going. I think personally, if you ask me, I'm not a huge fan of the drill rap and the drill music in certain genres.
Shout out Swaggy G's.
Shout out Swaggy, for sure. I'm not a big fan of that, but I would say for Westchester artists especially, I think we need more lifestyle rap. And the reason why I say that is because when the large scale of people that's not from Westchester look at Westchester County, like Lex said, on the basketball scale, they think we've got money, all of us is rich. They think there's no projects here in Westchester. They think there's no hoods in Westchester. And I think if we would kind of, put it out there to people that is more lifestyle rap and we just some cool individuals and all of that, I think it becomes more believable.
Facts.
For the large scale of people really consuming the music.
For sure, and I agree with that 100%. And to tap into some of, the people I came across and just seen coming up, not even really seeing coming up, but just like who I've been seeing is like, right here in White Plains, you got people like Tay Bands, who's somebody. You got Johnny Price also from out here. Shorts. You go to Mount Vernon, you got Quentin Gilmore, Money Gang Didi, GMNZ. You go to New Rochelle, you got Stunner. You got Steely, who actually, and that's to your point of like being discouraged. Like there's people like Steely, people don't even know like Steely gets paid off music. Like y'all probably never even heard of Steely, or y'all might know of Steely, but Steely like is going over the waters overseas and selling out shows. People saying his songs word for word. Like it don't necessarily have to. You don't have to have millions of fans and make millions of dollars. If you get a core fan base and you get 10,000 people that's gonna buy anything you drop and stream anything you drop, it's like, bro, you good. You know what I'm saying? And I think the main thing with Fred is like that discouraging part. It's like, I feel like with Westchester artists, they just need to be more consistent. Cause it's like, y'all would drop some heat, whether it's music, the videos, whatever, and it's like, oh, this kind of fire, visuals fire.
No follow-up.
And then you just stop. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, how do you expect somebody to support you when you stop?
Yeah, you're not supporting yourself.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing with the music culture. I think just because I'm like big on the internet. Like I watch everything. I watch everything on YouTube, Instagram. Like when people post, I'm watching it. I think you have to enjoy it. And I think some people lose their joy because of the money you spend or the money you think you're about to spend. If you just even if you're just going on your Instagram and rapping for free, right? That's something that that's how all these, content creators started. For sure. And all these comedians like Desi and all of them, like they started by just doing free stuff on their Instagram. And that builds the buzz, buzz. So I think music as a whole, there's so many different cities in Westchester that it becomes different lifestyles that people can rap about. For sure. And I think they just need to kind of be more consistent. And there's people out there that are consistent.
Nah, for sure. Just keep going.
Just keep going, be more consistent. And I think we need to collab more. Like Westchester artists need to collab with each other more.
Support each other.
And not kind of like, oh, they from there. Yeah. This song is whack, this person is whack. Like just collab and you never know what happens. Especially now with Instagram and how social media is. you keep going, like you said, all you need is one thing and then a fan base and
you good. And that's the thing too. I think that's part of it too, is like just supporting each other. I feel like it's too much competition. Like, and I feel like that's just a Westchester thing, period. Like it's hard for people to support each other. Like, for example, I was like, when we was talking last episode, did Fred start Ferris? And that we made it clear, like, Fred didn't start Ferris. He just had an impact on how Ferris like took off, or whatever the case may be, or Ferris World Boat took off on the social media tip. It was like, some people, but he X, Y, and Z. It's like, bro, like, why you even have to, if, like, when we was little, if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Like, if you, why you hate, why hate? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because we don't watch the full podcast.
Yeah, that too.
You know,
we talk about music, but make sure
readers.
That's a fact.
Watch the full podcast.
Watch the full
context.
That's a fact. But also just stop. You don't gotta hate. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like let's say, let's collab more. Let's support each other more. When the artist posts on his story, video shoot at 7:00. And that's one thing. Maybe because I'm the same. That drill, like, I'm not really a fan of drill, but I respect Swaggy so much because of his work ethic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say, shout out to Son of Sam. When I was running around with Son of Sam, I want to say we shot Swaggy's first video on Ferris.
Swaggy doing shows and all that. He got a show coming up, I think.
Right, that he's putting together. It's not, he's headlining
the other day in the park.
You know what I'm saying? And he's always showing, and people joke about it, like, Ferris is today. We know Swaggy's gonna be showing the video, and it's like a joke, but it's like, bro, that work ethic and that grind
That's
of like,
some of y'all need to be doing.
Right,
shooting
you
the
know
video.
what I mean? And then even to like just give some advice to Swaggy, to your point, it's like, maybe switch it up a little bit. Every song don't gotta be drill. You know what I'm saying? Make a love song, make a lifestyle song, talk about your situation. And you might be doing it in the drill music, but we not even we the unks, so we might not even be tuning in to hearing what you talking about in your life, because I know you probably are talking about your life, but it's like maybe doing in a different capacity, like throw on a 90s beat, throw on a boom bap beat.
But the thing is that, I don't want to like be devil's advocate, but it's like everyone has their own audience.
No,
so it's like,
for sure,
we might not listen to drill, right? But the 25-year-old, 26-year-old, 23-year-old are, right? Yeah. We might not be listening to the rappers that talk about the kind of like the rappers that rap like Nas, right? From Westchester, that rap with all big words that most of us can't spell.
That only them and T.I. know.
But we might not listen to that, but we can still support like other ways. It's like to support. And I think that's where us in Westchester, where we struggle, is like, just because we don't agree doesn't mean we can't show love. Like, and it doesn't have to be show love. Like, Swaggy, my man's, right? That's my little man from my block. I'm not gonna post his drill music because it's not.
Right, your core audience is
it's not like what I can, with people that follow me and stuff like that. But what I will do is shout him out on the podcast and make sure that he's heard, right? What I will do, if somebody ever come to me about like, what artist should I tap into? Who should he's going to be one of the first people, I say. And that's something that everybody from every city can do, is like, just show love. Like, it don't hurt to show love, because the world's so big. And like I said, there's so many underground rappers that we don't, know of, or that's big time, like Tyler Creator. Yeah. He's a huge underground. I saw this on a podcast. He's a huge underground rapper. He's like borderline mainstream, but his core fan base is good underground, and he's a millionaire off music. Fact. So it's like, that's where we can go. That's where we can, build off of in the music. And that's just me talking from the outside looking in. Like, you inside. Sure. Or were inside the music industry. But you were inside, so you know more in depth. But from the outside looking in, it's like more collabs. Like, and I'm not talking about collabing with the person from your neighborhood. I'm like, collab with that. Yes, collab,
cross to the next city.
Different cities.
If you're a rapper, tapping with a singer. If you're a singer, tapping with a rapper.
Throw some events. Put some money up. Throw some events.
It's hard enough.
We throwing an event.
Right. It's hard enough for Westchester.
We throwing a rapping event.
Yeah, we throwing a rapping event.
And it's in low key. It's in the we kind of spoke about it. You know what I'm saying? We spoke about an event. Cypher kind of did. So it's all coming, because I think that's where Westchester Talk comes into the play. Like, we seeing all these things, we seeing what's going on, and we tired of like watching what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So we finally want to take initiative and kind of show people, like it's easy. Yeah. It's not hard to show love. It's not hard, like it's already hard enough for us 914 people to make it on whatever level we trying to make it on. So now when we got people in the 914 hating on somebody from the 914, it's like, come on, bro. Yeah. It don't even make sense. And that could be part of what makes it discouraging as well. So next topic since we on the music, did anybody, we tuned into the BET Awards?
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I watched the whole BET Award through Castanet stream.
That's the you. So you watched it though,
and I'm not even joking. I'm an hour and like a half. Watching it.
Streaming.
He was behind scenes with Kevin Hart.
Fact.
And I watched literally the whole BET joint, and it wasn't like all the performances and stuff. It was whatever he was filming. His experience. But that's how I watched it, and that just goes to show the times is like that we in. Like I watched it through a stream, Twitch stream.
Yeah, through
and shout out to him. Hopefully, he sees it and brings us on. And we Twitches now.
Streaming University. You know what I'm saying? Do a podcast University. We pulling up.
But
Twitching and twatching. You know what I'm saying?
This is how support goes, right? His man, Talil, wasn't allowed on the red carpet, right? And Talil said, watch when my man come. And you know how people be like, you out of your mans or whatever.
No, glazing, sorry.
Glazing, my fault. I ain't say that. Cut that out, John. But glazing your mans or whatever. You know how people be quick to say you glazing somebody. But this is how strong, this is why he's so successful for real. For real, it's like, as soon as he got there, the first thing he said was, yo, come on, you good.
Because they not going, if they tell him no, they got to tell Kano, and they not going to tell Kano.
He said, if my man can't come through, I'm not going in. And you know what? He went all over the place.
Facts.
And I'm talking about these kids from somebody that had bad blood in their heart would have been like, I'll be right back.
Bro. Yep, see you later, yo, bro.
Because you know how many people
come back, bro. I'll be
know how many people get left out?
I'm gonna get a drink. I'm gonna go holla at. I'll be right back.
You know people get left out in the club?
Nah, facts.
Yo, I'll be right back, bro. All of a sudden, you see a Snapchat, you sitting on the couches, you outside in the rain.
He come out, yo, bro, why you ain't come in? Yo, I'm waiting for you. Like, what you mean?
They come out 2 hours later, yo, you still there?
Niggas ask you why you ain't come in, like, you might as well start fighting.
Yeah. No, but through the Twitch,
crazy. I didn't even think of that.
Through watching it on stream, though, you also see, no matter what level, black people ain't never on time. Like ever. Yo, watching Castanet stream made me realize, damn, but then I was watching it on live TV. Y'all took a nap, woke up and still going. Like, the BET Awards was out of line this shit. They was 2 hours past the time. Yeah. Like, it was crazy, but like, they tried to really bring it back. It
was turned though. It was turned.
They brought back Rap City, 106 in Park. Gotta bring Mr. 106.
And it goes to show that, again, like the different generations now showing love. Kevin Hart bringing Drewski and Castanet on stage, right? And it goes to show, he even said it like, they coming on stage with me. I don't care what y'all saying. Y'all want me here? They coming on. So that's how it has to be. Like, yo, you pull one up. You get there, you pull one up. Right? Castanet got there, he's pulling all his mans up. Kevin Hart's there. Even though in the same breath, that's helping Kevin Hart stay alive regardless. Because he's bringing different age group to support him. But he knows what he's doing. Like, I'm doing it genuinely. I'm gonna help you out. You're gonna help me, we're gonna help each other. That's how it gotta be. So for me, watching on the stream, the BET joint was lit because it shows you like a real person that made it from these like streets, right? Go somewhere and like not lose themselves with their friends. And that's like, and I think that's why he's successful. Like, yo, you don't, no matter how far you get in life, because everybody knows somebody that kind of went somewhere in life and turn their back on their friends.
For sure.
Right? And then when they hit rock bottom, the first people they want to call on is their friends. That they should have been with them. Like, we hit rock bottom, we all gonna hit rock bottom together. If we get to the top, we all gonna get to the top together. So the BET Award, I mean, I don't know who performed. I think Glorilla, I seen him through a little screen from Castanet joint and Bow Wow.
It was a few different, and it was real nostalgic. Like you said, it was like our era. Like their songs they was performing is like stuff when we was in high school or middle school, to where it's like, this is the stuff we in them parties listening to. So it's like when certain people were performing and saying some lines and then stopping when Wayne performed a Millie, like he stopping and the whole crowd is finishing the lines, like, you know what I'm saying? I think
because you couldn't understand what he was saying. You know what I mean? Sorry, Wayne, we love you, Wayne.
Yeah, fact.
But you know what I mean?
But it was definitely nostalgic. I think the BET Awards, and I think if I'm not mistaken, it was like the 25th year anniversary. So BET Awards definitely lit. Definitely a great moment, and I think it was real nostalgic. I think we all enjoyed it for sure. Regardless of how we watched it through the stream, watching it live, I think it was a great showing. And speaking of great showings, something that been going viral. I mean, we talk about everything, music, entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So to something that been going viral, been going crazy. Gonna keep the stack. I ain't get a chance to see it yet, but Tyler Perry's movie Straw on Netflix.
Facts.
Lex, you said you had the chance to see it. We don't want you to ruin it for us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Fred said he seen it through TikTok.
I seen it through TikTok, baby.
But
all I'm gonna say it's a must watch. And then we'll recap when you guys watch it.
Yeah.
So next week, but it's a must watch. Have some tissues with you.
And on top of like you said, we'll keep it at that, and next week we'll recap. But speaking on that, just to kind of wrap up a little bit. Let's just real quick name a movie, like you said, have some tissue. What's a movie that maybe back in the day or whenever you may watch it that made you cry, that you can remember like you was really like crying? You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say, what's the movie where the 5 kids got locked up?
Oh, the Central Park 5.
Yeah.
When they see us.
When they see us.
Okay.
All right. That one right there.
I forgot about that.
Well, was a good one. Why? Because it's like, for us, it's a one watch. It's like something you can't watch again because it resonates with people from our community. It's like wrong place, wrong time. Even if you aren't 100% right, it's just how you're viewed because of where you're from and who you with, right? It's like the one kid that goes with his friend, so his friend's not alone, locked up, end up getting locked up for those 5, 7, 10 years, whatever it was. Right. So it's like it's so much stories within the story that we all relate to. How many times you go with your friend just so he's not by himself and shit happens? Right. You're not even supposed to be there.
Facts.
But you there just because you're not gonna leave your man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then you in the wrong place, wrong time, but you're not really having no bad blood. You just there just to enjoy it. Right, and then you get caught in some shit just because because you're there. Yeah. So that right there, that was a good one that I definitely enjoyed watching. I mean, it definitely had little tears in my eyes.
Fact. And it was based on a true story. And it's based on a true story. I think that's what made it even more like, because at the end, I think they started showing like the real people.
Exactly, because that can happen to any one of us.
It did happen, and that's a fact.
It can happen, and and it happens every day where we're from. Or, just for how we look, like it happens every day. So
that was I didn't even think. I was making my list of like what movies and that one.
Yeah, that went right there. I remember I was watching that, man. I'm like, damn. Mom. You know what I mean?
Wait.
Yo, I'm calling my mom.
It's just one particular scene. I feel like everybody, says this, but it's real shit. Hardball when G Baby died. You know what I'm saying? That was tough because, we might see deaths. But like as a kid, that was the first child I seen get killed in a movie. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that was the movie that made me feel as a kid like, damn, I can die at this age. Like at a young age, I can die.
How many times that come across the news right now? Kids getting shot just by being in the park playing.
That's a good one too. That was in my top 3 too, because like the writer or the director, whatever, like G Baby was like the light. He was like laughing, playing all the time, laughing. So when them gunshots went off and they went, he like, G Baby, and it's turned to him. Oh man, I cried during that one too.
And it's a moment like that why some people now turn out the way they are because they went through those. Like they're not bad kids. They were never bad kids, but it was situations like
traumatic experiences.
Exactly, that turn them demon. Like
that ain't gonna be me type.
Exactly. Like I'm gonna always be on point now. Like.
But that was a good one. Those are two good ones. That one was on my top 3, and that one I didn't even think about. So for me, I'm sure everybody's seen it. Will Smith, one of my favorite actors, it was Pursuit of Happiness. He was on the bathroom holding the door.
Oh my God, man.
Yo, I ain't going from, bro.
When it was sleep.
When his
son was trying to go to sleep. Yo, bro, he's holding the door. Dude's banging on the door. He got a son. He like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, that was
like,
tough.
You know what else too? Now that I got a dog, when he had to choke his dog out, man.
Yeah, I Am Legend.
I am legend. Will Smith, you wildin', man.
Now Will Smith, because he had 7 pounds too. I don't know if y'all seen
I ain't
7
seen 7
pounds.
pounds, but yeah,
that's
yeah.
okay. Tune in.
Yeah,
Tune in.
nah.
Yo, hold on. I'm gonna be a real nigga, man. Yo, listen, Lion King, man. Yo, when Mufasa died, when Scar killed me, yo, that was the first guy I ever seen in life. Yo, what's the Lion King, man? It's number one, Lion King. R.I.P. Mufasa, real nigga.
Definitely.
That's a good one though. When he was holding, like again, it's another thing. It's like
real life.
You will go the extent to make sure that one, like your parents, right? Nobody got kids right now. Like you will go the extent to make sure your kid doesn't feel what they're not supposed to be feeling. What's really going on, right? And that's like, so all those movies is dope. Like, yo, in the comments, man, what's your favorite movie?
What movie made you cry?
Yeah, because that's a good one. That's a good one. I think they need more movies like that. That like, and that's why I think Straw is one y'all gotta see.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that probably tomorrow. I'm gonna tap in.
Record it when y'all crying. Y'all post it on our.
We might put it as a clip on the pod. For sure. And that's a kind of topic. Just like you said, great topic. And definitely tap in the comments. Let us know some movies that maybe made y'all cry or stuff like that. And it's funny too, because when we as men, when we watching these movies, I know you told me, it's like you watching them, you not even trying to really cry. You trying to, you know what I'm saying? You sitting in the cut and you just really staring at the TV. Like you not even trying to like look around and see who else crying.
Know when tears coming.
So you trying to hold the man as soon as somebody say anything, it's like, damn, like it's over. So definitely going. And I think to, kind of end the pod, I just want to highlight we a few days away from the big game. You know what I'm saying? I know I just went to the whole left. We was talking about movies and crying and all that.
I'm gonna cry after this night. I'm gonna cry after this event.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a beautiful thing. And just to bring, end on a positive note, the Pound Invitational, man, something you've been, this is the second year for it. It's definitely been looking good. You posted the sponsors. I hit you up on, them sponsors, great list. You know what I'm saying? You've been talking about this, planning this for a while, and it's finally here. So how do you feel about it? What's some, if you want to shout out maybe some players that's going to be in there, if you want to, maybe shout out some of the coaches that's going to be taking place.
So last episode we shout out a few of the coaches. But I just want to highlight the players in totality. You know what I'm saying? We have players not only from Westchester County, we have players from New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut, things like that. So, we have players from the entire tri-state. And to bring them all under one roof in one area in Westchester County, I just think that that's a beautiful thing to begin with. Shout out to sponsors, just to name a few. Dykeman, shout out Earn Your Leisure, shout out Next Level, Frenzy, King's House of Fire, Cantina, Recover Drink. Shout out all our sponsors. They all helped out in a big way this year. I never thought I'd be doing something like this neither. Another one of those things that when I was in that dark place and I wanted to get up out of it, this was one of those ideas, and I'm just glad it's coming to fruition. The Pound Invitational, Saturday, June 14th. It's supposed to be at Yosemite Park in Greenburgh. If it rains, we're gonna do it at the Theodore DeYoung Community Center. So yeah, man, I'm happy, man.
Yeah, that's hard. So regardless of whether that date is going down.
Yeah, it's going down regardless. We're not rescheduling, we're not backpedaling, we're not doing none of that. It's that date. And
then like we said last episode, me and Lex will be coaching. This is gonna be my coaching debut. You know what I'm saying? Lex he do this coaching thing, so he gonna kind of kick back, relax, but y'all gonna see me on the sideline with my board and all that. And we gonna come out with the dub. We gonna be chilling, but we still gonna, you know what I'm saying?
DJ gonna have his kids acting like him.
You know what I'm saying? We got to, and we know the commissioner. We know you know what I'm saying. So our roster, if you don't be hating if we got certain players and they might look lopsided. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but on a serious note, like I look forward to this event. I ain't gonna lie, I couldn't make it last year. I think I was in Myrtle. I think I was in Myrtle Beach. Yeah, I was helping. Shout out to the private shop again. I was at the other location in Myrtle Beach, helping out down there. But I'm excited. And it's a pleasure. I appreciate you for having me coaching.
Already, y'all legends, man. Gotta have y'all.
I definitely look forward to it. And I think
definitely dope. Definitely.
We could end it on that note. I feel like let's end it on that note, man. Definitely want to give a huge shout out to our supporters. We hit 250 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to us on YouTube. On Instagram, we have 500 followers as well. You know what I'm saying? And we only 7 episodes in, man. So for us doing this literally from scratch and where we at now, I'm big on celebrating little wins. You know what I'm saying? I like celebrating wins. I used to not be like that. It's like, oh nah, we still got more to do. We still got more to do. And I feel like let's not be like that. Let's enjoy every moment of this process because eventually we gonna be here. I see us doing this, so let's enjoy this process. Let's, have fun with it. Let's stick together. Let's keep the shit going. And for that, on Sunday, we're gonna go live. We'll go live, whether it's on Instagram Live, whether it's us video recording, whatever it is. We'll shout out and pick the winner. Randomly, we'll pick the winner of the subscribers. You will have a $250 private shop store credit. That will be what the reward is. $250. $250? Store credit. So you could come in here. Let me see. Let me see what's going on.
Shout out my guys. What's up, boys?
It's
good, man.
Let's go. We got the YNs outside again. It's like 10 o'clock or something. But $250 store credit.
Not in school?
I know, man. You know what I'm saying?
But that's fact. But $250 store credit coming to somebody, one of our subscribers for appreciation. Listen, it could be anybody. So make sure y'all keep subscribing, keep tuning in, keep showing love. And on that note, we will be picking the winner soon. We will announce it. And then we also, with the 250 store credit, we're going to have y'all pull up to our next episode as well. So y'all pull up to the next episode. Y'all spend that $250 how y'all want. And then y'all can sit in on the pod. We'll shout you out. You can see the behind the scenes. And hopefully, and maybe you never know, it might be a kid, an adult, somebody who pick, and we might inspire them to want to do podcasts now after they see how it works. So, you know what I'm saying? Keep supporting. Keep showing us love. I'm your host, PJ. My brother, Fred.
Yes, indeed.
My brother, Lex.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the team, Gianni, YB. Shout out to the private shop. And that's Westchester Talks, and we see y'all next time. Appreciate y'all.